Our biggest concern is kind of maneuvering the tiny house down this narrow driveway. I just hope it doesn't fall over. Sanoa, back up. Whew. This is stressful. The whole time I'm thinking the tiny house is gonna fall. They're gonna try to do this. Let's do this. Come on, come on, come on. Good morning, everyone. Today is the day that we get our tiny house, and so I thought I would bring you guys along for that experience. Christina and I recently had a tiny house built here in Portugal. It was built off-site, and so today is the day that the tiny house is going to be delivered to its final destination. So I'm out here waiting for the tiny house to be delivered. This is the parking lot that we're gonna meet at, and then we're gonna go to the house, to the location from here. Wait for the delivery. Oh, there he is, there he is! Aye. Okay, so I just met the builder at the parking lot. He's following me right now to the location with the tiny house. I'm so excited. I mean, it just looks amazing. Okay, so we got a couple of issues. This is the driveway that the tiny house has to come down. You can see them now trying to figure out how they're gonna turn it. So our first step is to turn it. We have a tree, an olive tree, that is in the way. But the olive tree, one of the branches, we're gonna have to try to pull it back. I don't wanna cut it. And so we gotta try to figure out how to move this olive tree branch. Then once we get it to the site, I have a pole. But our biggest concern is kind of maneuvering the tiny house down this narrow driveway. So this was the biggest thing I was worried about, but it looks like we have it solved. I mean, look at these olives. I did not want to cut off any branches off this olive tree. But what we're gonna do is, as the tiny house passes by, we're gonna pull these branches back. And so hopefully we can pull it back far enough where we avoid scratching the tiny house. Because I don't want to have to cut this tree. The next thing is getting the tiny house around this corner. Once it gets around that corner, then we're gonna have another issue to deal with. But we'll see. So we're at the next point. Now we're around this corner. The next thing is getting it up onto the platform. Okay, so we were able to get it down the driveway. We didn't damage the olive tree. Next, the challenge is going to be trying to maneuver the tiny house into its position on the pad. There's not a lot of space to do it, but man, these guys are really doing an amazing job. I can't believe they were able to make it past all these trees and down the narrow driveway. I mean, this is incredible. So next up, it's on the pad now, and what we want to do is we want to get it to the back of the pad so that we have access to the water and all the other utilities. So we'll see. Okay, so they disconnected it now. The pad is at the back. I think we're gonna move it by hand now. So now we're gonna level the house. I've never seen levels this big before. Okay, so the house is in position. Right now, if you see behind me, the guys are putting all of the appliances back into the house. They transported it without the appliances, without the doors, just to kind of minimize the weight. And so the house is leveled, it's in position, the appliances are going back in, the doors are going to be back in. We're almost there. We're putting the stove in, doing some checks. So once they're done putting everything together, this over here is the deck that we framed before the tiny house came. So the idea is that we can just put the deck back in place. One will go on the front and one will go on the back side that also has another door. Then we'll finish these decks. We'll finish the framing, and then we'll put the decking on top and do all the finishing touches on it. But we pre-framed it this summer, me and Sanoa. I wanted to take full advantage of her labor while she was out of school. And it just kind of speeds things up a bit so that we can get the tiny house up and going sooner rather than later. So one of the things that's really nice about our tiny house is that we do have an air conditioning system in the house, so that when it gets really hot, we can turn that on. Thank you. So that's it, guys. The tiny house has been delivered. It is ready to go. We still have to, of course, decorate the interior. We have to complete the deck around the house. We have a couple more things to work on. I think in a couple of weeks, we'll do an update video. We'll give you guys a full interior tour. This is the fun part for me because this is when we really get to express ourselves with the interior design. So if you guys have liked this video, please leave a comment below about some of the questions that you may have about our tiny house here in Portugal. And as usual, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and join the journey.